Hey everybody, JR Fisher here. Welcome to Monday morning. We all made it. We made it to this Monday, which is what, the 29th of November, 2021. We made it. You got to be happy about that, right? We made it to this day. That's amazing. We made it here. So be thankful that we are here today. Today is going to be a super cool session, guys. I'm going to give you 7 things that can literally quadruple your income. And the reason I know that is because I implemented them in my life a few years ago, and it did quadruple my income. And since then, it's probably 10 times my income, if not more. So implement these things, guys. You've got to implement these things. This morning, I want to kind of tell you what I did before I get started here. Let me get this camera just right. Say hello too. Don't forget, get in that chat section. Say hi to me. Tell me what's going on in your life. Tell me what you're doing. Tom Chapo, buddy, I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Finally caught you again. Yeah, I'm in Georgetown, Texas now, Tom. So I've changed my timing, and I'm pretty much aiming for 10 a.m. Central Standard Time or daylight time, obviously, if we're daylight. So that's what I'm going to try to do it from now on. And I'm just ramping up. I guess getting back live again. So I'll be here. So God, good to see you here, buddy. And please, everybody, put your comments in that chat section. Today's going to be a cool session. I would suggest you write some of the things down that I'm going to share with you today. I wrote them down and I implemented them. In the very first year, I did more than quadruple of what my income was. And some of these things may not be what you think they are. They're a little bit, I guess touchy-feely kind of things, but they work. They work. Does it matter what they are if it works? And the question is no, it doesn't matter as long as they work. And before we get started, I want to kind of go through what messes people up. And what messes people up is not being perfect. And you're never going to be perfect, guys. You're never going to be perfect. I had a plan today that I was going to get up at a certain time, and I had a plan what I was going to eat for breakfast, and it was pretty darn healthy. It was some almond milk and protein powder and some fruit. And then I was going to go to Home Depot and get some stuff I need to do. And then I was going to go to the gym, and then I was going to get back here for you guys so that I could do this live. And I screwed up. I didn't eat the breakfast I should have eaten. Now, here's what happens with people. You don't always do exactly what you say you're going to do. But what happens with a lot of people is that if they mess up part of their plan, they trash the rest of it. They go, well, you know what? I was supposed to work out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I didn't work out Monday or Wednesday. So what's the point in going Friday? That's what destroys your success, guys. It doesn't matter if you screw up along the way, because you're going to screw up along the way. Because I didn't eat what I was supposed to eat, doesn't mean that I should have done all the other things and not show up here for you guys today. If you mess up any of these things that I'm going to share with you in a minute, don't worry about it. It's okay. You're not going to be perfect all the time. It's not going to happen, but you've got to force yourself to do stuff when you don't want to do it. My wife and I were talking yesterday, and we had a list of things we wanted to do. And I know it's Sunday and you're supposed to sit around and watch the game and eat chips and beer, but somehow that didn't work for me. So we decided the night before what we were going to do the next day. And we were discussing some of the things, and I had something I had to do, and she had something she had to do. And she said, I just got to get up and get it done. I said, then let's get up and get it done. And we both stood up and we started doing those things. So you're going to have to force yourself to do some of the things I'm going to list today. But please, guys, implement these. Whatever your income is, if you want to quadruple it in the next 12 months, these things will do it. And some of them, you may say, well, I tried that and it didn't work for me instantly. So, I just quit doing it. Don't quit. That's the other thing I'm going to add before I give you the 7 things is don't frigging quit. Quitting is what kills you, guys. What's up, Tyann? Good to see you, girl. Hope you're doing well. She says, good morning there. And guys, everybody on here, if you want to succeed, constantly put stuff in that chat. I'm telling you, it will mentally help you. And a lot of the things I'm going to give you this morning, you're going to say, well, I don't need to do that because I can remember whatever it is. No, you've got to write it down. You've got to do it. You've got to do it because it's there to remind you. So that's the first thing I'm going to talk about. Number 1 is write down your goals. Write down your goals. Okay. We did this, gosh, I want to say it was about 3.5, 4 years ago. And it's okay if these goals change. Okay, I want to stop you there, but we wanted to move into another neighborhood, and the rents in California were atrocious, and we decided how much we needed for that, because we didn't want to buy at the time because the houses were just millions of dollars, and I just didn't want to dump the money into it because I didn't think I would get it back out, to be honest with you, the way the market was. So we set up a goal, and I needed, and just hang on, because we have expenses that you don't know about it. But we needed an extra $50,000 a month. That was our goal, an extra $50,000 a month. Okay. And we needed this for about 8 months, another $50,000. So that was like, what, $400,000. Now, some of you may say, well, oh my gosh, that's a big goal. It really isn't. And it isn't, because there's a lot of people making a whole lot more money than I do, a whole lot more. Okay. So anyhow, we wrote down that goal, and it was an extra $50,000 a month. And we far surpassed that. As a matter of fact, I think we did about 4 times that 400,000 extra that we needed, which was great. It was great. But we also did not move into that rental house. We ended up buying one in Texas and building a custom home instead. So it's okay if, once you write down these goals, they deviate a little bit. It's okay if they deviate a little bit. Now, the next thing I'm going to tell you about goals is this. Once you write down your goal, you got to be really super, super, super specific, okay, about what you want. So, I mean, you can't just say, I want more money every month. You got to say exactly what you want, how you want it, when you want it, what you're going to spend it on. That's all got to be there. You've got to make this goal a detailed goal. So, that goal that I'm talking about right now is money, but it could be physical goals. Okay. It could be you want to run a race. It could be you want to be able to do 100 push-ups. It could be whatever it is. Write down these goals. Now, here's the funny thing. This is the end of November, getting into December, and we all start to reflect. We start to go, okay, what happened last year? What did I do last year? What did I do for the year? Or, I'm 50 years old, or I'm 30 years old, or I'm 29, or whatever your age is. And you go, where am I supposed to be at this age? Where exactly is my life supposed to be at this age? And the truth is, it doesn't matter. A lot of people will say, well, you're supposed to have achieved this, or own this, or have this. And that's just not the case. Whatever it is that you've achieved, it's because you did what you did. And if you want more, you just go for more. Okay. So when we're writing down these goals here, don't beat yourself up. Now, here's the funny thing about goals and achievement and looking behind us. We tend to do it at the end of the year. And that's the big problem, because the year is gone. I used to run a sales force of, literally, between all the dealerships, hundreds of salespeople and managers. And I used to tell them this one thing. I said, if you want something to improve, you need to check it on a consistent basis. Okay. You need to check it on a consistent basis. You can't, let's say, go to the gym sporadically, each month, and at the end of the year go, how many push-ups am I doing now? No, what you need to do is you need to check every day. Every single day, you need to check what got done today. What got done today? What goal was it that I said I was going to do that I actually did? Whatever you check improves. Whatever you check improves. The problem is most people don't check. They don't check because they don't want to know the truth. They don't want to know what's in the checking account. They don't want to know the bills that they owe. They don't want to know what physical shape they're in. But if you check, it will improve. And if you don't check, it will fall by the wayside. So the number one thing I'm going to tell you is goals, but you've got to check them on a regular basis. Don't write down your goals and just go put it somewhere. Okay. You've got to actually do something with it. You've got to check it on a regular basis. I'm starting to get a lot of comments in here. Tyann says, yes, she's doing well today. I'm glad to hear that. Hi, just started following you, learning from your tips. Life is like kite. Enjoy it. I love it. I love it. That's very cool, and welcome. Good to have you here. So now we're going to move on to the next one here, guys. The next one. And guys, if you have any individual things you're working on, any individual things you need help with, please share that with me. Share it in the chat section. Send me a message to training@jrfisher.com. Do any of these things, and I will be happy to answer you, but send me a message. And I think, Tyann, you had sent me a message the other day, and I told my office, I want to make sure they got it over to you, that you had done a review. Put in the comment section if that was you, because I think one person, we didn't send that out to them, that book that I promised. So make sure you do that. And guys, also, I want to remind you, If you want to get a free book on how to find profitable products to sell online and also get the audio version of that, this is worth about 20, 30 bucks. I don't know, put a value on it. I will give it to you for free. All you have to do is go to Google, Google J.R. Fisher training, give me a 5-star review, do a screenshot of it, send it to me, and I will give you that book and that audio. So please do that. I want to get more and more reviews on there. We have a lot of good ones, but I'd like to get another one. All right, number 2 is increase your knowledge. Increase your knowledge. Your knowledge didn't end at the first grade, did it? Because you said, well, no, there's more to learn. The problem is a lot of people's knowledge ends at high school. It ends at high school. Or worse yet, it ends at college. Because if you've got a college degree and you've been to high school and you still don't learn more, I got to ask you why not? Now, would you go to a doctor who said, I went to school 30 years ago and I haven't cracked a book since? Would you do that? And you would say, well, no, I'm not going to that doctor. And the reason being is things change. Things change in the medical arena, and they come up with new discoveries and new pills and new treatments. And I don't want to go to a doctor that hasn't cracked a book in 30 years. Well, here's the truth. It doesn't just change for doctors. It changes for everybody. Stuff changes constantly. You need to increase your knowledge. There's 2 ways to make more money in the world. That is to ask for more money, and not a bad thing to do. You could do that on your job. You can try to get a raise or whatever. And the second thing is to make yourself more valuable. Why does a brain surgeon get paid more than the guy who sweeps the floors in an office building? The guy who sweeps the floors in an office building, or the lady who does that, they're just as good as the brain surgeon. These 2 people are equivalent in value in human life. I don't think there's any difference. However, the brain surgeon has learned more things that the average person can't do. So he increased his value. He increased his knowledge. And that is number 2, increase your knowledge. The person that is in the office building sweeping the floors has a set amount of knowledge. And that set amount of knowledge, there's nothing wrong with it, but there's a lot of people that can do it. How many people can sweep a floor? How many people can operate on a brain? Okay, so your increased knowledge will automatically bring you more money. And it could be increased knowledge like learning a language, or learning how to write, or learning how to sing, or play an instrument, or whatever it is you want to do. You've got to increase your knowledge. Now, I primarily talk about making money online. Let me get a sip of water here, because that's what I do. However, it can be anything. Increase your knowledge is number 2. Number 3, this is a huge one. This is one that a lot of people have a hard time with. This is one that a lot of people get guilted about. Number 3 is get rid of negative people. Get rid of negative people. And negative people, guys, will keep you down, I think, more than anything else. I mean, you can have big goals and increase your knowledge and go to the gym and be in shape. But if you're constantly bombarded by negative people, you have a hard time. I mean, it's a very, very difficult time to get to where you want to be. You need to be around positive people. And if the people around you are not going to be positive, you need to change them. You say, well, JR, I can't change my family or my wife or my husband. And honestly, you can. Okay. You can certainly change your wife or husband. That can be done. And as far as your family, I know they're still your family, but you don't have to hang out with them a whole lot if they're bringing you down. Now, I hear a lot of people say, oh, yeah, you got money now, and you got fame, and you got this. You hear it about celebrities all the time. And then they say, well, now that you're famous, this actor or whatever, whoever they are, you've left all your friends behind. You left all your friends behind. You just shunned all your friends once you got to this point. You've changed. You're a different person now than what you used to be. And the answer to that is yes, you are. Yes, you are. Those people didn't have to be left behind. They just chose not to go on a journey. They chose not to come along. They chose not to improve themselves. They chose not to do more and earn more and achieve more and learn more. Because if they had, those 2 people would probably still be friends again, right? But you can't drag people up with you. It doesn't work that way. It's not possible. My screen just went out here. Give me 1 second, guys. It's not possible that, you can just drag people to success. You can't push them up the mountain. You can't do that. So when you get more successful, you will leave negative things behind. You will leave people behind. You will leave friends behind, because you have to, because you're a different person. And people say, well, you've changed. And the answer to that is, yes, you have changed. You have changed once you achieve some of these things. And that's a fear of some people. They're like, well, I don't want to change my friends and who I hang out with and all that. I feel all comfortable here. The reason you feel comfortable there is nobody's trying to achieve. So it makes you feel okay about your life. If I take you and put you in a room with a whole bunch of high achievers, you may feel a little uncomfortable. If I put you in a room full of billionaires that have done a lot, in the world, you may feel a little uncomfortable. If I put you in a room full of Pulitzer Prize winning scientists, you may feel a little uncomfortable. Okay. But when you're in your own little group and your own little negative, niche of people, you tend to want to stay there. It is difficult to break out of that negative bubble. Okay. But that's what you need to do. So you're going to need to get rid of negative people. Now, here's something else that I think a lot of people have a very hard time, extremely hard time with. And it is, let me slide over my screen here so I can get to it. There we go. Find a positive angle to everything. Everything. I want you to start finding, and this is number 4, if you're keeping track. Number 1 was set goals. Number 2, increase your knowledge. Number 3, get rid of negative people. Number 4 is find the positive angle to everything. To everything. I'm going to give you a simple thing. I'm going to give you a very simple thing. I was out shopping with my wife the other day, and I went into Ross Dress for Less. Okay. And I never go in there. There's nothing in there for me. I never find anything I like. She likes to shop in there. She finds some good deals, decorations, stuff, whatever. I never find anything I like. And I needed, we've moved to Texas and it's chilly outside now. It gets chilly. I had lived in San Diego for, 8 years, and it's pretty much warm year round. We don't have to worry about that. And I would let my dog out during the day, and I would open the door, put my flip-flops on, step outside with her. Well, now it can be 40 degrees, 45 degrees outside here in Texas. And it's probably going to get colder yet, but I put my flip-flops on and it's cold outside. It's cold. So I said, I wanted to get some slip-on house shoes that, have like the hard rubber bottom, something like that. And I went into Ross that I never go into, and over on the wall, lo and behold, there's a pair I like. They're $30. I'm like, well, that's cheap enough. And they had them on sale for Black Friday for $14.99. I'm like, $14.99. Now, they weren't a good brand, and I could tell they wouldn't last forever, but it was all I needed to let the dog out the back door. So I said, you know what? I'm going to get these. They're $14.99. And I looked up to get in line, and the line went from the cash registers all the way to the back wall. And I'm figuring you would have to wait 45 minutes, maybe longer, to get through that line. And I thought, is my time worth that money? And I opted to not get them. I said, I'm not going to do it. I went and met my wife, told her the story. And I said, man, I wish I'd gotten those. I really missed out. I just didn't want to wait in line. And she says, something good will come of it. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. So we went on to the next store, and it happened to be Costco. In Costco, I found some slippers. Okay. And they were actually a good name brand ones. And matter of fact, she did a video on it. You got to check out her channel too. Is Home Sweet Farmhouse, and that video will be up there about that. But anyhow, I found them there at Costco, and they were $9.99. Now, it's only $5, but it's another $5. And I do look for deals. I really do. I don't care about impressing anybody with somebody else's brand. Now, I do want to impress people with my brand, which is my training that you're getting right now. Okay, I like doing that. But wearing some name brand something, which really doesn't matter anymore anyhow, because everything's made in China, doesn't mean anything. But what I did is I tried to put a positive angle on whatever that thing was. I remember a few years back, I had to go to my warehouse, and it was in Kentucky. And my wife was going to give me a ride to the airport in her car. I had parked my car in the street. Hers was in the driveway. We walked outside, and we went to get in her car, and it was gone. And I looked, and I saw the empty driveway, and I said, honey, we're going to have to take my car because yours was stolen. And she looked at me with a straight face. She goes, how do you know that? I'm like, well, now your car is not there. Your car is not there. And since it's not there, I'm figuring it was stolen. And she says, oh my God, that's horrible. I said, no, it's a good thing. She goes, how is getting my car stolen a good thing? I said, I don't know yet. All I know is that it's a good thing. Okay. And I'm not quite sure why, but I know it's a good thing. Now, here's what happened with that. She actually, they did find the car. They totaled the car, and they gave her replacement value that was thousands more than what the car was worth. And I know this for a fact because I used to run car dealership. I was blown away because I was all set to argue with the insurance company. You're not giving us enough. And when I saw the amount they were going to give us, I'm like, honey, you could buy a much nicer car with what they gave you. This is great, because she didn't really like the car. It only had 15,000 miles on it, but she wasn't in love with the car itself. And she got a much nicer car. Now, the moment it was stolen, we didn't know that it was going to be a good thing. But if you start to do this habit of positive imaging on everything, no matter how bad it seems at the moment, no matter how bad it seems in the moment. And in September, I got COVID, which I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Am I allowed to say that? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they'll shut me down or something. Hope not. But I got sick. Okay. I got that world illness. And when I got it, I was thinking, oh, this is a bad thing, but I've got to think positive. So it's got to be a good thing. And it turned out I got through it. But 2 weeks, I felt really bad. I had a fever of 104.5, highest I've ever had. But I got through it. And when I got through it, a doctor told me, well, you've had the vaccine and you got the illness, so you're golden. I mean, you have about as much antibodies as you can get. So it was a good thing. At the same time, a friend of mine's son passed away, and he was 40 years old and got the same thing I got, but he wasn't as lucky. So I got to believe, thinking positive about this stuff, not that thinking, negative or positive, caused him to pass, because that's not the case. He had some underlying conditions. But I'm just saying, guys, you got to think positive about everything, even negative things. Now, you may say, well, JR, sometimes obviously things are negative. Somebody gets cancer, somebody gets paralyzed. That's a negative thing. I said, I know it's a negative thing, but you've got to kind of think positive about it. There's a channel, it's something, Roll with Something, and it's a guy who's paralyzed from the waist down, and his wife, and they have a YouTube channel, and it has exploded. I mean, it's really taken off. They've done very well. And he's in a wheelchair. A lot of people in a wheelchair would say, I'm just going to sit at home and not do anything. He decided to start a YouTube channel, and they document their life and what it's like to live that way. And, his affliction, which is being paralyzed, is a terrible thing. However, look at all the people he's helping. So he's turned that negative thing into a very positive thing. And I wish I could think of the channel now. That drives me crazy. But anyhow, Roll with Something. Yeah, I can't look it up now. Unfortunately, I should have done that ahead of time. But they've taken a negative thing and made it positive. Are you doing that? Or are you going, oh my God, I knew this would happen to me. Every single time I do this, every single time I try this, something goes wrong. Is that your attitude? You've got to change that crap. You got to get rid of that crap. And as soon as you hear yourself say something like that, snap out of it, because that's what's keeping you in the negative lane. You got to switch over to the positive lane. Don't you think Elon Musk has had some negative things? He almost went bankrupt several times. He's had rockets blow up, and yet he's the richest guy in the world right now, and everybody loves him, because no matter what negative thing happened to him, he kept moving forward. Okay. Are you doing that? This is something you got to add. That's number 4. Number 5, you're not going to want to hear this. You're not going to want to hear this. You got to get in shape. You got to get in shape. And I don't care if your knees are bad. I don't care if you've got a bad shoulder. I don't care if your back goes out. I don't care. I'm going to be hardcore here. Use the parts of your body you can use. Rarely do people have paralysis from the neck down. Those who do, they've got an excuse, unless you're paralyzed from the neck down. And Stephen Hawkins was paralyzed from the neck down, and he still did stuff. Now, he didn't work out, but I knew Sean, and I'm trying to think of Sean's last name. He was in a wheelchair for years. Oh goodness, it escapes me now. But he had brittle bone disease, and he passed away a few years ago. And he became a motivational speaker, and he would do videos of him trying to do push-ups and sit-ups on the floor, and his body was just, mangled, and it was in really bad shape, but he tried to get in shape. What are you doing to get in shape? Don't say, well, I'm 50 years old right now, or I'm 40 years old right now. Of course, I'm going to have some things. No. How many pounds overweight should you be at the age of 40? Approximately. How many pounds overweight? What about the age of 50? What about 60? We're going to give you a slide at 65? No, the point is you've got to get in shape. And this means eating better. This means exercising. You've got to exercise, guys. You cannot be in shape by not eating a lot of food. A lot of people think, well, I can just diet myself into shape. You can't diet yourself into shape. On the flip side of that, you can't work out yourself into shape either. In other words, you can't eat all the food you want and just work out, because you can always eat more than the amount of workout you can do. This is a fact. Look, it's a fact. You have that ability. Okay. So you've got to cut back on your eating, got to eat a little bit healthier. You got to go to the gym, you got to work out. I was there this morning, It wasn't fun. I'm going to tell you, it wasn't fun. I was doing my push-ups and I was doing my treadmill and my, arm bell, dumbbell weights and all this stuff. It wasn't fun. But you know what? I know I have to do it. I can't tell you guys to do this stuff and not do it myself. So you got to get in shape. That's number 5. Number 6, the killers. These are the big killers of your time. Time is all you've got, by the way. Most valuable thing in the world is your time. Money is not really that valuable because if you got time, you can always get more money. But if you waste time, you're going to be screwed. Number 6 is cut out TV, social media, etc. Anything that's eating up your time. It doesn't mean you can never watch TV. It doesn't mean you can never get on social media. What it does mean is you can't spend the majority of your day doing that. You can't spend 4 hours a day watching TV. You can't do it. You can't. I don't care. I don't care if you want to get ahead. If you're happy with what you got, you can just, can all this stuff, not even watch this video. If you're happy where you're at, I'm feeling like, you can do more. And that's why you're here listening to this video. So cut out so much TV. Say, hey, I'm going to give myself TV while I eat dinner, or I'm going to give myself TV after 10 p.m. at night until 11, or 12, whatever it is. But you got to cut some out. Social media. If you're on Facebook, that's fine. Don't check Facebook 50 times a day. It's a waste of your time. Don't check the news 30 times a day. I'm guilty of some of this. Now, some of you say, well, gosh, JR, I do that, so I'm out. I can't do all the things you said to quadruple my income. No, it means you work on it because you're not going to be perfect on all these things. It's not going to happen. You're not going to be perfect on all these things. It can't be, okay? But when you screw up, don't trash everything else. Don't say, well, I set goals and I increased my knowledge and I got rid of negative people, but I didn't get in shape. So what's the point in doing these other things? No, you just do the best you can and work on the things that you're not. That's it. It's that simple. Okay. And that was number 6. And let me go through them one more time. If you're writing them down, number 1 is set goals. Okay. Number 2 is increase your knowledge. Number 3 is get rid of negative people. Number 4 is find the positive angle to everything. You got to do this, guys. Number 5, get in shape. Number 6, cut out TV and social media things that eat up your time. We're down to number 7. Let's see. Tyann says, our idea of chili is a bit different. Yeah, it is. I know. Well, our idea of hot is a lot different here too. It gets pretty hot. It gets, over 100 degrees here in Austin. So I will say that. Put more comments in there, guys, questions in there. We're getting ready to end in just a second. And if you don't get your comments and questions in there, and I'll answer you, and I charge thousands of dollars for consulting. So this is free to you right now. So why not go ahead and just get some questions answered? Just throw them out there. Don't worry if you think that other people think that your questions are going to be silly, because nobody pops out of the womb with all the knowledge. A master scientist may think some of your science questions are silly because he knows stuff. But just because you don't know something doesn't make any of your questions silly. You just don't know. Okay. And once you know, then you can help other people. So that's what I'm trying to do here. So make sure you do that. Put your questions in there. Your comments in there. If you like this, put that in there too. Number 7. This is the tough one. I want you to think about this and then I'm going to wrap your head around it. Number 7 is think about the reward, not the work. Think about the reward, not the work. Let's say you want to write a book. A book is not hard to do. My wife's done it. I've done it. Not hard to do. I've done a couple of them. But the tendency is to think about the work, not the reward. You go, oh my gosh, I've got to do 12 chapters, or I got to do 15 chapters, whatever it is. And then I've got to come up with ideas for every single chapter. And then I got to write this stuff for every single chapter. Don't even think about that. What you want to think about is the reward. I wrote a book and I sold thousands of copies of it. I wrote a book and people now consider me the expert. I wrote a book and it gave me more opportunities to get out and do whatever my thing is, whether it's, music or art or, basketball or whatever it is. Write the book on the thing that you are interested in. Write the book on it. Become the expert. And here's the funny thing. When you write a book, it not only is a book, but it increases your knowledge because you have to do a little bit of research. I know when I'm writing a book or writing something, I have to go out to the internet and find information. So what I'm doing is increasing my knowledge base. I'm working on number 2 as I'm working on number 7. Okay. So don't think about the work. If you say, well, gee, I got to work on my website and I got to do all this SEO and stuff, man, I don't want to do all that work. Think about the reward. when I do all these things, I'm going to get more traffic to my site. I'm going to get more money in. I'm going to be able to live in a nicer home. I'll have nicer clothes. So when you say, hey, I'm going to do SEO so I have nicer clothes and a nicer home, that's a whole lot different than saying I'm going to do SEO and it's a pain in the butt and it's boring and it's monotonous. Okay. Think about the reward, not the work. Does that make sense? If it makes sense, put a little comment in that chat section there. You guys aren't commenting like you should right now. And also, this will go up on YouTube. And when it goes up on YouTube, you can use the comment section. You don't have to use the chat section because obviously I won't be live then, but it will be on YouTube. And I want you guys to make sure you do that. Use that comment section. I come back through, I answer the comments, I talk to you guys. Matter of fact, right after this session today, I'm going to go in there and answer comments. Let me tell you what I'm going to do today. And what are your plans today? Tell me your plans. Put that in the chat section. Put it in the comment section. Tell me your plans. This morning I had to get up. I had to go get breakfast. I had to go to Home Depot, buy some parts for the house. I had to go to the gym, work out. I had to come back here, do a live. And this is just 10 o'clock. Okay, I've got that done. And then after that, I'm going to finish editing one of my wife's videos. I have to go in. I have 10 videos of my own I have to edit. I have to write scripts for the next videos. And I'm going to give myself more stuff to do in a day than I'm able to do. That's another thing I'll tell you is give yourself more stuff to do than you're able to do because you will limit yourself. You will limit yourself. I saw a post by Elon Musk the other day, and he said, if you give yourself 30 days to clean your house, it will take you 30 days. If you give yourself 3 hours to clean your house, it will take you 3 hours. So you know what? You're a lot more capable than what you think you are. You can do a whole lot more than you think you can do. But the thing is, you're not pushing yourself because you're afraid that you won't be able to get that goal accomplished. You won't be able to do that thing. So you give yourself less than you know you can do. Everybody's guilty of this. Give yourself more than what you think you can do. I mean, I'm sure as a kid, Elon Musk didn't say, I think I'm going to colonize Mars. Okay. He's given himself way more than what most people would give themselves to do. Thomas Chapo, we are glued to what you are saying. Ha! Thank you so much, Thomas. I really appreciate that. It's very kind of you. So we've gone through all these things, and let me list them one more time. Number 1, set goals. Number 2, increase your knowledge. Number 3, get rid of negative people. Number 3. Number 4, find positive angles to everything. Number 5, get in shape. Work on it, guys. I don't care what shape you're in now. You can improve it. Number 6, cut out TV, social media. You can do it some, but not all day. Come on. Number 7, think about the reward, not the work. Guys, if you do this, it is impossible. It is impossible for you not to be more successful. It's impossible for you not to feel better about yourself. I know I feel a whole lot better about myself when I get up and go to the gym and come back and sit on the couch than if I just sit on the couch. Okay. I feel like the couch is a reward if I go to the gym. I know I feel a whole lot better when I do a live with you guys than when I get up every day and I just go through my day. Just being with you people is motivational to me. It really is. It means a lot to me. And if you're enjoying this content and you like this content, give me a thumbs up. I didn't ask in the beginning, but give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Go down there and subscribe, hit that subscribe button. If it's red, click it, turn it gray. Don't forget to ring the bell. Turn on all bell notifications so you're notified each and every single time I go live. That way you don't have to go searching for it. You don't waste your most valuable asset, which is time. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this session today. I will be live more this week. I'll send you out an email before I do it. And it's probably going to be at 10 a.m. So if you're just around the internet around 10 a.m., if you make sure you turn on all bell notifications, they're going to notify you that I'm going live. So make sure you do that if you're not on my list, but you can get on my list by going to jrfisher.com and certainly do it that way. I really want to thank each and every one of you guys here today. It's been amazing. I've really had a great time. And I got to tell you, when I go through these things and think about them, it makes me keep doing them. This is good for me too. I need the same thing you do. We all need the same thing. We're all in the same boat. There's a country song about that, but we're all in the same boat. We're all working towards the same goals, guys. And it's to be happy and healthy and enjoy our life because it's also short. It really is. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Let me switch over to this to see if you have any questions or comments or anything I can help you with. Let's see here. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Okay, I'm back on the screen now. I couldn't see myself the whole time. I was having to, what was I having to do? I had to check my notes. That's what it was. I checked my notes. But I know what they are. I know what those 7 things are. And man, I tell you what, they've made a world of difference in my life. Try them. if you think I'm wrong about this, try all 7 of those things. And I think you'll be amazed about, let's see here. I'm doing a service today. Let's see, I'm doing a service today. So scouting out territory will be gathering addresses. Notice how I put Tyann's comment up here because she has good stuff. Be gathering addresses. I have lots of letters written for people. Good job, Tyann. Man, I love having you here because you're a positive person and you go out there and you do stuff. Thomas gave me a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. Thomas, it means the world to me. Really, when you guys give me good feedback, it means the world to me. So I really appreciate it. You guys have a great day. I'll send you an email. I'm going to try to go live tomorrow. Okay. And I'm also going to be starting the cooking channel. And I keep saying that and keep saying that. I'm putting together recipes. If you guys have recipes that you want to learn how to do or you think are interesting to do, put that in the chat section because I'm going to be doing a recipe channel. And I'm not a chef. Okay. But you know what? I don't need to be a chef. I can just cook stuff I like and that tastes good. And you don't have to be anything either. You can just do whatever you want to do. Okay. You can do whatever you want to do. You're not, assigned a certain job in life or certain talents. If you want to do something, just go do it. Thanks so much for watching today, guys. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate you being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.